excited about that because we're celebrating all year, but this weekend will be especially special because the nation is celebrating. We've been celebrating Czech and Slovak footprints across America, and we still have 6 months to go, but this is a special weekend to ignite everything and get it going, and we have a lot of surprises. You might say, why is America 250 so special at the National Czech and Slovak Museum and Library? Because we tell the story of our immigrant ancestors who came to this unknown land many times with very little money to start a new life for themselves, and they helped us establish the life that we all have today. So we are so grateful to them, and we at the National Czech and Slovak Museum are preserving that past so that we can create a better future built from those immigrant stories to our present day stories and to our future. And that future is a great lead-in to our guest today. We are so proud. You know, for the past 5 years we have been having Smithsonian interns with us, and we have our 2026 interns with us, and they're going to be with us for 8 weeks. We've just completed week 3, right?
Yep.
And it's my pleasure and honor to introduce Casey Holbach and Emily Davis-Dunn. And they're going to tell you a little bit more about themselves, but they're sporting our 250 American t-shirts, which we are so proud of. This was designed by one of our staff in the store, and he did such a great job, and they're for sale in the store, but it's celebrating Czech and Slovak footprints across America. You guys look great.
Thank you.
And so we'll get started with you, Casey. We'll kind of go in alphabet. Tell us who you are, where you're from, what you're studying, and where you go to school.
Well, as Cecilia said, I'm Casey. I come from a little town that probably a lot of viewers of this program would know, New Prague, Minnesota. I am currently studying history at Wartburg College. I will be a senior this year, going into my last year. And I am very interested in, I guess, all facets of history, but I am especially interested in that migration period that happened in the 19th and 20th centuries with everyone moving and just how much society changed in that era.
Oh, that's great. That's great. Well, we're excited because we've had a long relationship with Wartburg, and the Smithsonian Institute every year has this internship program. They select the interns, and we're lucky enough then to enjoy them, but we are just delighted that you both are here. Emily, tell us about yourself.
Yeah, so of course my name is Emily. I'll be an incoming senior at the University of Iowa. Go Hawks!
We'll let you say that. That's okay.
That's okay. But I'm currently double majoring in computer science and saxophone performance. So
that's fascinating.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot, but it's really brought me a diverse perspective in kind of all facets of study. So I'm just excited to learn more about museum life and how my skill set can kind of relate to that. So.
Well, and again, where are you at from? Where are you from?
So I actually grew up in Dubuque, Iowa. So I'm currently living in Iowa City, going to school. But yeah, grew up in Dubuque.
Well, we are just so pleased to have you. And I know that each one of you, they're here for 8 weeks, like I said earlier, and they go weekly to virtual programs with all of the other Smithsonian interns around the country, and a lot of them are in D.C., correct?
Yep.
And they are required to weekly attend virtual programming, do work here, get familiar with every aspect of the museum world, and they have been great. They have been going with us on field trips. They've been doing special events, and they're even, I think, are you both going to Wilbur, or just one of you?
I think just Casey. Yeah.
You're going to go to Wilbur.
I'll be going with you.
So, but we'll get you involved in the future. We won't let you get too far away.
There you go.
But so you're doing some research. Will you tell us what? Because everybody's doing a leadership project for the Smithsonian. Do you want to tell us about what you're doing?
Yeah. So my research project is I'm researching the history of saxophone in the Czech Republic and Slovakia, and just figuring out, like how did the saxophone get there, and what music, who's writing music from that region. So it's really been a kind of hard research project, but it's been really fulfilling, just learning more about like the history of saxophone as a saxophone performance major. It's really fulfilling for me. So.
And you're doing classical saxophone.
Yeah, so I'm actually studying, it's a small field called classical saxophone. A lot of people are familiar with jazz saxophone. That's probably where you're familiar with, but there is a small field of us who are doing classical music, and it's a lot of fun.
Well, we are just thrilled about your area because we're finding, at least I know from my talking to friends in the Czechoslovak Republic, that jazz saxophone, but classical, that's a niche field.
Yeah, and those of us who are studying it know it's hard to find that information, but it's definitely a thing. We definitely exist. So shout out to the Iowa Saxophone Studio who are all studying that. So
oh, great! Well, that's super. And Casey, you're studying history.
Yes, I am.
So tell us about your research project and tell us what you hope to do.
So I am currently looking into Czech immigration to the Midwest, and I'm taking a little extra time to look at immigration to Minnesota and specifically to New Prague. And it's something I've been wanting to look into for a while, just because I grew up in the area, and I always say I've never traveled outside of the Midwest in the U.S. So that's the little pocket of America that I know. So it's interesting to be able to look at the culture that I grew up in and how it came to this part of the world and how it evolved and turned into what I know today with Dožinky in New Prague, Hobie days here, Czech days in Wilbur, Nebraska that I'll get to see at the end of the month. And it's been a very interesting research project because all of the states and their settlements are so interconnected with each other just because of how tied together the community of Czech settlers was. They were always looking for others who were like them so that they could have that connection and that familiarity.
Yeah, that's an interesting finding because it is true that among the Czechs and Slovaks in particular, but I think a lot of other ethnic groups, but they had their fraternal groups, they had their social clubs, they had their churches, and all denominations, but they would come together and they wanted to have that unity. And even to this day, I think when you get Czechs and Slovaks together, they know how to hold together and be together. and they like that very much. Well, that's great. So tell me, Emily, you've been here now almost 3 weeks. What's the one thing so far? You have 5 more weeks left. What's the one most fascinating thing you found out?
Yeah, so it's been really fascinating just kind of exploring how the museum works, and it's been interesting just learning more about like curatorial, and we spent the day with our curator Stephanie yesterday, so it was really cool to just see how she works as a curator because I don't have a lot of exposure to that, so that's been really enlightening, and just to kind of learn about how do we preserve history for the future generations and how do we tell people about it now, so that's been really interesting.
So they both are getting a lot of experience at each one of the facets. They even spent a day in facilities management.
Surprisingly, really fun.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
We were up in the ceiling of the museum, so that was so much fun.
Looking at HVAC systems and water circulation. Yeah, that's
definitely an abnormal day, but it was great.
That's super. And what about you, Casey? What's the one fascinating thing you found?
I think the most fascinating and definitely I think like my favorite so far that I've gotten to do was the more education side of things. Especially getting to help out with the Czech language class with the children last week, just because it's so important to me that like history is something that gets passed on, and it doesn't just need to be passed on in an academic setting with people who have been studying it for years and years. It can be something that kids can find interesting because so often it's things that they relate to. And just the education aspect of it, especially with younger generations, is really important to me.
So good to hear. So what's the one word you learned when you took the Czech class?
Zelena is my favorite color.
Zeleny. Okay,
Zelena.
green. Okay,
Yeah.
okay. And what about you?
Oh, I don't know. I always like Dobrý den, just
Well,
a
good
great
day.
greeting. Yeah.
That's good. So you guys you're ready to go there. I think that's really good, right?
That's what we need, yeah.
I need to brush up on my notes a little
And
bit.
I know that you're both going to be helping. We have a STEM day, Science, Technology, Engineering, and Math Day, coming up in very soon in Collins
16th.
Aerospace, and you're both going to be manning the booth there for the museum.
Yep.
What are you going to do? What are you going to do there?
We're going to have little sundial kits for the kids there to, as an homage to the Orloj that is both here and then the one in Prague that has the sundial on it, so that the kids can look at it and kind of understand how you're able to tell time just with a shadow. So that's one of the activities we'll have.
Yeah, and I'm super just excited to engage at the Collins STEM Day, as a computer science major. So we're going to be talking about also, we have a robot that our education director, Sylvia, built that is talking about the history of the word robot. And so that was invented by the Czechs, right?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we're excited to talk about that and just kind of engage people and tell people more about what all the beautiful work we're doing at this museum. So
That's great. Well, we're excited to have you be there. It's a really fun day. 1000s of students come.
Yeah.
And our clock tower, for those of you that have never seen our Orloy at our Burrish Immigration Clock Tower and our sundial, you're really missing something, so please come and see it if you haven't seen it yet. So tell the people in our listening audience, how are the Smithsonian interns selected? What was the application process? What did you do?
Yeah, so the application process was actually not terribly difficult. Basically, they have you kind of write about what you're looking to do as a Smithsonian intern. And so we're here through a program called the Smithsonian Leadership for Change program, where you don't necessarily, like me, have to be studying something related to history or museum life. And it's really to expose people to what museums are doing and how they can make a meaningful impact in their communities. So
That's very good.
Yeah, it was definitely, it was daunting in the moment when I was doing it, but looking back at it, it wasn't.
Do we have to stop?
Oh.
What happened?
There's no audio.
There's what?
No audio working.
No audio.
Okay, if we would have kept going, I could just stream it out later with audio. Let's just keep going.
Okay.
So let's just
I'll stream
keep.
it out. Yep.
Okay, you'll stream it out. Okay,
Yep.
okay.
Okay.
Good. So we can contine. Okay, good. So, so we're talking about Collins in the sundial.
You're talking about the internship application,
Right,
I
the
think.
internship. Right.
Yeah. For like what I had in my mind of what applying to an internship, especially a Smithsonian internship, would be like, it didn't feel that daunting. They really, like Emily said, asked you about like what you wanted to do, what you wanted to get out of the experience, and why you were signing up for it. And like I already said, like education is an important aspect to me, making sure that history and culture reaches the younger generations, and that was something I put in there. And so I think the way that they go through all of that and find the people who are really passionate about it that's a great way to do it, I think.
Well, yeah, I think what's so important, what you both mentioned, that leadership aspect. They're looking for leaders because museums today are looking for, whether you're in the business or whether you are a participant in it, if you're a consumer, if you're in the general public, to have that appreciation of what museums could do. Because if you look at the history of museums over 1,000 years ago, they were just for the elite. They were not for all people. And we say we're a museum for all people, as does the Smithsonian. And I think that's so important that people realize we are an education business and we are here to stimulate, excite, and as you would say, Emily, let people critically think. And I think that's so important. So, so what do you see yourself doing in 10 years?
Yeah, so I can see myself kind of working in some kind of nonprofit business, just kind of being a leader or a project manager in that sense. I'm hoping to learn more about how I can take my background. This is my second museum I'm at, so kind of working in museums, but also like computer science and music and how I can engage all of those things. So I'm really hoping to find some kind of position where I can be a leader, but also explore those interests of mine.
Well, I was thinking about when I first met you, the music, computer science relationship. There is a strong relationship between music, computer science, and science in general.
Oh, yeah.
There's a real strong. When I was teaching in the medical school, some of our best students were music majors that had gone on to medical school then.
Yeah, I found, honestly, through my degree, like the skills I've learned in music school are some of the most helpful skills I think I can apply to any workforce today. A lot of people are like, including my saxophone teachers, always like, Emily, what are you going to do? Emily, what are you going to do? And I think for me, it's I'm building the skills now. How do I work with others? How do I critically think? How do I fix problems? And all those things that you learn in a music degree. And so I think that value is so great. And so I'm excited to bring that into the workforce.
That's great. And I know you, Casey, studying history. That's always now a major that some universities are even letting go. History and geography and the core, sort of what we used to call important disciplines for education. And so what do you see yourself in?
I hope, over the next 5-10 years to work in some sort of local historical society, smaller museum, something like that. And help do like public outreach and education, that kind of thing, get it out to everyone, make it an experience for everyone, possibly even get a major in museum studies, that kind of thing, because I'm very passionate about it, and I want to spread the good word.
I know that both of you were in attendance this past week when we had the director of the National Library from Prague here. He gave a lecture which will be available on our TV station.
Yep.
And what was the one thing that you learned? Because he talked a little bit about what you were saying about making museums, libraries more accessible to the public. What was the one thing that stuck with you?
I think just the fact that I think the thing that stuck with me the most was when he pulled up that picture of the huge reading and study room that's in there, because the beautiful old architecture and everything, like, it screams a place that is to just be looked at and admired. It's not something to be used, and I really love the duality of the fact that they are still using it. It is a study room. It's being used to educate people so people can learn and change and grow, and I think that, like, perfectly encapsulates what museums and libraries are for. They're not just to be looked at, they're to be interacted with, and they're there to help society.
Right, yeah. No, that's a good take. What about you? What was your take?
Yeah, so one of the big things that he talked about was how his library is engaging with Prague and like that community, and so it was really, I loved hearing about like their programs where they had like coffee and that brought like people into the museum, and also like they had to have a big board game day, and so I mean I love board games, and so that really I remember stuck with me. But it was just great to hear how his library is still engaging with the public and making it so accessible to people and making it less of a scary kind of institution. I don't think it's that scary, but just like bringing people in and welcoming them and saying this is what we have to offer. I think that's just such a powerful message, and that we should really take that into all of our aspects of museum life as well.
Well, I think you both captured really two key take-home messages. One was the beauty and the structure of, this several hundred-year-old building, making it accessible to everybody, and then making some modern-day kinds of activities. They even had a day for pets there, outside. So they really expanded what you would traditionally think of a stoic kind of historic building, and made it, very, very inviting for everybody. So the next time you go to Prague, you'll have to stop there. Right?
Oh, yeah, the pictures he shared makes me want to stop there so much. Yeah.
Right. Well, we'll have to make sure that we help you. I keep teasing them that they will, after they finish their degrees, they will go study in the Czech Republic or Slovakia. So that would be an international experience for sure. So getting back to your Smithsonian experience, why don't you tell our listening audience some of the programs that you're participating in virtually?
Yeah, so this past week we actually participated in a global leadership Zoom class. All of our stuff is virtual, and it was really great to hear from Smithsonian leaders about how, like there was a woman from the Office of Global Affairs for the Smithsonian hearing about how the United States views like culture and all those kind of things, and just from the global perspective, how do we engage with other people, and then applying that to our visit from the National Library in the Czech Republic, and just like implying all the real things that I'm experiencing to that like broader perspective.
Well, that's great. Casey?
Yeah, I would say definitely had like a similar takeaway from this week's meeting about how just since the U.S. doesn't have that Minister of Culture, national museums and libraries do that job for them, and that kind of changed my perspective on the Smithsonian and even here, because this is a national museum, and like the work that you guys do, because so many people are like, oh, it's just a museum, but no, you guys are diplomats. You reach out to other countries and you make connections, and also with the other programs, it's just been really great to hear from all of the leaders at the Smithsonian, who are these great people who do great things, and they've been working. They work so hard every day, and hearing about how they deal with normal things like stress and bad family struggles and things like that, and how they work to make sure that that doesn't affect their work. Just because it always feels like whenever people have those struggles, it's such a just you thing. So it's always nice to hear that everyone has those struggles and get tips on how to deal with them.
Well, it sounds like you both learned a lot, and you've only been here 3 weeks, and we look forward to the next 5 weeks with you. And for anyone that happens to come to visit the museum, we invite you to come and see the interns. They're on second floor. They each have their own office, and we really look forward to them being here and coming back often.
Yes.
We'll make sure you're members. And how important that is. But we really thank you, and we're so pleased you're here, and we'll look forward to monitoring your careers, because we do, let's see, we've had, 2, 4, 8, 9, 10, you're 11 and 12 interns. So we've had 12, so we try to monitor what's happening to you. So we'll make sure we monitor, and the fact that you're from Iowa and so close by, and Minnesota, we can kind of keep close dibs on you.
Yeah.
So thank you again for being here, and we look forward to it. And again, for those of you listening, come and meet them, and we would love to have you interact with them, because they are fascinating. And at the beginning of August, they're both going to be presenting their final projects. So we will tape that, and that'll probably be on our TV station then too. Okay. But listen, thank you so much. And before we sign off, I do want to again highlight their wonderful T-shirts, which have our Orloy, our museum, and our wonderful flags. And we hope. And then this is a special month in July here at the National Czech and Slovak Museum and Library, because we have our wonderful ornament sale. And Andrea has so beautifully put together some red, white, and blue ornaments. You buy 3 and you get 1 free, and it's all during the month of July. And these are all hand-blown, mouth-blown instruments, ornaments, I should say. Of course, I love these 2. One is our Czech flag, one is our Slovak flag, and then a beautiful red ornament with decorative. And then this is one I have at home, is this beautiful blue one. It almost looks like the blue modrtisk, with white and some pearls on there. And again, these are all made in the Czech Republic. And it's very special that we can have 3, buy 3 and get 1 free. And if you don't have a tree, then what you can easily do is you can buy one of these wonderful stands if you have an apartment or you just want to decorate a table in your house. That's really great. I have these in 2 rooms in my house, in my library and in my dining room, and everybody always comments. I keep them up all year long. But so it's buy 3, get 1 free. So check out our store, ncmsl.org, and or you can call the store, but you can check us out online to see all the wonderful, wonderful ornaments that we do have. And then you'll be hearing more about this a little later, but I'm wearing our wonderful pin that was for our gala. This is a collector's pin, and it is the torch from Lady Liberty, the Statue of Liberty. It was designed in the Czech Republic with Czech crystals, and this is, every year we get a new collector's pin, and this is because of Madeleine Albright. In 1919, I called Madeline to come to our gala, and she said, I can't, I'm writing a book, but why don't you have a pin to commemorate gala? So every year that we have a pin, we are definitely in honor of Madeline and commemorating her for her wonderful book that she wrote, Read My Pins, if you haven't read it, that's also available in the store. But if you, these are limited, and I love mine because you can wear it with anything. But so check out our store at ncmsl.org. And with that, I think we're going to welcome another guest in just a few minutes. But Casey, thank you. Emily, thank you. We love having you.
Yeah, thank you
so much for having us.
Okay.
Yeah,
See you later.
great.
Bye.
Bye.
Today, as we again celebrate our America 250 here at the National Czech and Slovak Museum, our second guest is one of our new board members on our International Board of Trustees, Kika Sojakova. Welcome, Kika.
Thank you, Dr. Cecilia.
Honored to introduce you. We'll be periodically featuring our board members, and Kika is our first one because she joined the board just recently. And Kika is from Slovakia, but she's living in Cedar Rapids, Iowa. So we are thrilled as can be with that. So Kika, do you want to tell us a little bit about yourself?
Absolutely, very happy to introduce myself a little, and thanks for having me not only as part of this series, but as well on board of the beautiful museum and library. My name is Kika Sojakova. I come from Bratislava. I have all my grandmas from Bratislava. So as far as I know and remember, what brings me to US was working for IBM. They brought me to their headquarters in New York, and now I moved to Iowa. So it's a big move. Cedar Rapids is just amazing. You have been so welcoming, so it feels like home right away.
Good. Well, we're so pleased you're here, and we're so pleased to have you on our board. So tell us, you've been very active in, I know, all things Czech and Slovak through Slovak Pro. Do you want to tell us what Slovak Pro is?
Absolutely. So Slovak Pro is an amazing organization. It started years ago. Was one of the founders was Otto Raček. It was founded as Young Slovak Professionals. We dropped the young from the name.
That's good. That's good.
Although we still feel young in heart. We have thousands of members across the United States. We're now as well having members in Canada and having first chapters open in Europe. The key that brings us together is that we have some Slovak heritage. Some people have Slovak husbands and wives. And we are professionals, so we are working in the United States and are helping each other and can be proud of each other.
And what you're doing is an amazing job. I know several of you across the country in terms of not only promoting Slovakia, but in collaboration among businesses, even among the museum. And as a board member, Kika is going to be working with Slovak Pro in heading up, we're planning already for next May, our economic summit. So do you want to tell us some of your vision that you might have?
Yes, so I was blown away by the Economic Summit this year in May. We had 250 people here in the museum from Slovakia, Czech Republic, and all over the US. So this is very much bigger than the Cedar Rapids location itself. And if I can connect it together to some of the efforts and the connections that we have built over the years with the Slovak Pro, which is the business community, people that are happy to expand, so businesses, startups, but as well-established companies like ESET that are helping us on the Slovak Pro side. We would love to marry the two and be able to connect with the talent and the successful stories, which is the American dream that you and the other board members represent, and your parents still instill the love in Slovak and Czech language into you.
What a strong message as we celebrate America 250, because that's exactly it. And I think in not only allowing the speakers to come, but making partnerships that will lead to something, which is a good lead in. What are you doing here in Cedar Rapids?
So in Cedar Rapids, believe it or not, I consider this a mecca of growth right now. There is a huge development in terms of data centers. So, this is the buzz of the day. So AI data centers being built here. This is a place that maybe a lot of us know primarily for the agriculture, and we think of it primarily as the agriculture, but it's very business forward. State, and the city is just a proof of that support and that spirit, with the mayor being such a strong proponent of everything that the museum does, and everybody is really happy and eager to bring more businesses here to grow. I had here a startup during the Economic Summit.
That's right, I met it, yes.
And they happened to come here because it was on between their visit of New York and Orlando. And as part of being here and seeing how much momentum, experience, mentorship they got from the local business experts and board members as such, they are deciding on moving the business here.
Wouldn't that be great? That's wonderful. That's wonderful.
So those could be the outcomes.
Yeah, those are the kinds of outcomes we want. And so you now are working here and working with the data centers and building relationships.
Yes, so we have great partnerships with the local businesses and are so proud to see this come to life. And what better place where we have as well the largest museum for the Czechs and Slovaks.
Absolutely, thrilled about that. And I think what you're doing is so important, not only for the partnerships, but to bring future people here, because as you said earlier, Cedar Rapids and the region is really a ripe territory, fertile territory for expansion. If you look at that, the mayor always says, we're going to grow in population and grow in scope. And I think that Iowa certainly is, but Cedar Rapids in particular, because of our position, our wonderful airport, that we are in a very good position.
I love the airport. If you ever traveled through JFK or any big airport and then you land here, it's just an amazing experience.
Yes, and we have great connections. I love the flight that goes directly to D.C., and now we just have to get a direct flight to New York, and we'll be all set.
Yes, please.
Yes, there you go. And we have a lot of flights to the south, and especially to Florida, which is good, and so we really are
Yep.
very right. So, as a new board member, are there any kinds of priorities that you have or things you want to see? I know business and business partnerships are a big part of what you do, but is there some other thing that you want to see or things you want to see on the board?
I would love to, and this is just a wishful thinking, so I'm still in the process of getting to know the rest of the crew and making sure we do right by everyone. I think it would be marvelous opening the museum space to maybe a different vibe as well, and being able to host some panel discussions with a cocktail hour or some business breakfast, and bringing as well non-Slovak audience into the Czech and Slovak museum.
That's great, because I say we want to teach the American story, the Czech story, and the Slovak story to all people.
Yes.
So you have to bring them here, and I know we're going to host a biz mix in December, and that's sort of the leading kind of thing of what you want to see.
Yes.
So, well, I want to.
But I have to admit, I am impressed by all the digital presence and the TV and everything that you do in that space. So I would love to see that flourish.
Well, we're hopefully going to be expanding our TV now in the next 6 months with our new digital camera expert and our videographer, and we're connecting to open our whole ability to have access to our TV station to more people. So that'll be a great, I think, step forward as we look to the future. So we're very grateful that we have a videographer that understands that, and he showed his great skill at our gala recently, which you were at, with the wonderful videos that he actually developed in a short period of time. So very good. Well, Kika, you have a beautiful pin on, as I do.
Let me make sure.
And I said it
visible.
earlier today that this is the torch that Lady Liberty holds in New York, and it was designed by our store manager and artists from the Czech Republic, because these are Czech crystals, and we have a few left. And so check out our store, ncsml.com, and be sure you get one of these, because I always say these are in memory of Madeleine Albright, because we do a pin every year for our gala that she inspired us to have this pin. So someday down the road in 20 years, we'll have 20 collector's pins, right? So that'll be great.
I love that idea, because the pin became such a strong message that she was able to use with such a small item, relatively speaking. So carrying that forward would be a
And
pleasure.
you know, someone said to me, it's for men and women both. And men sometimes wear on their lapels a pin. So this could be, you know, something too that could be really worn by all people. So, and especially this message, because of the freedom and democracy and the torch of Lady Liberty. So that's really great. And then again,
I love that it has the colors both of American flag and as well as Czech and Slovak flag.
That's right. Well, you know, I think the best part of the job here is driving in every morning and going past the museum and seeing those three flags. When you see those, the American flag, the Czech flag, and the Slovak flag together flying in the same height and the same, when there's a wind, it's stunning. I have more pictures on my phone, I think, than I need to, but when I see those three flags in there, you can see them all. It's beautiful, and the colors, well, just like the ornaments that I was talking about earlier, you know, we have our store sale where you buy 3 and you get 1 free, and look at that combination of red, white, and blue, which really is perfect for our 250. So how are you going to celebrate 250?
So I need to first detach from the computer. So it's beautiful that we have AI, but I think there is more work actually coming at us. So with all that, I can't wait to have a little bit of free time to experience and explore Iowa City, which is right next door, very modern student town, and I hopefully see some of the fireworks.
Well, fireworks here. Cedar Rapids has great ones, I know, right? Well, so many, yes. And then, have you been in New York, though, for 4th of July before, right?
Oh, yes. And I actually have been very fortunate living on the water side of East River.
Yes.
Where the Macy's have the fireworks on the water.
Oh, really? I didn't know that. Okay.
Our last, I think, I don't know which year it was, but we basically were on a balcony.
Oh, wow.
With my Slovak friends, neighbors, celebrating 4th of July, and we had front row seat to the beautiful.
Sounds wonderful.
Fireworks,
Yeah. Well, you'll enjoy them certainly here in Cedar Rapids. I know there are a lot of places that have them, Marion and then Iowa City, so whatever, but enjoy. And again, welcome to the board.
Thank you for having me.
And we look, yes.
Can I have a question though?
Yes, please.
So, Dr. Cecilia, what would be your biggest wish and expectations on a new board member like me?
Well, to dream, to not be afraid to dream, and to help us. It's a 38-member board of national, local, state, national, and international board members. And we're dreaming big now because we're 52 years old. And we have to prepare for the next 50 years and beyond. We're running out of space. We need more classrooms. The 4 priorities that our study that we had a firm do said increase our digitization, which we're doing with the TV.
Amen.
Redo our Faces of Freedom, which is really, I'm glad they identified that because it's 13 years old, and a permanent exhibit should generally be changed every 10 years, and theirs is 13 already, and that's, Stephanie will do a great job, I know that. And then to build a lifelong learning academy and to develop an institute for democracy and freedom. Those were the 4 goals. So I think to dream big as a board member and help us bring the entire country to Cedar Rapids so that they understand and value all the great work that's being done here. And just like our students that we had, that's really, we're teaching future generations. But I was thinking about this the other day when I was here kind of late, and I saw this couple in Czech Village, and they said, oh, we were just at the museum and it was great. And they were a mature couple. And they said the first time we've ever seen it, we're from Minneapolis. And I said, did you enjoy it? And they said, oh my, it's a real spectacular treasure, as they used. But I think we need to make sure it will always be that for few. And so I think even with our new permanent Faces of Freedom, more involved, more technology, more things for children to do.
Yeah.
And so as a board member, to help us dream so that we're here for the next, someone said, only 50 years. We want you to be here for the next 200 years.
Yes.
So to help us be here for the future.
Absolutely. Happy to do that. It's a big pleasure. And everything that I found here as a surprise, I would like not to be a hidden gem that you have to move to Cedar Rapids to learn that there is a hidden gem. I would love for everyone to be as excited about what we do here.
Well, bingo, I think you just answered the question that you asked me, is to help people, because the one question that I'm always asked when I travel, why is the museum and library in Cedar Rapids? At first I didn't know how to respond, but now I do, and I say because it's the most appropriate and only place it should be. We are the center of America, just like the Czechs and Slovaks are the center of Europe.
Oh.
And they came here in large numbers because of opportunity. And, I still think of Antonín Dvořák. He wrote that when he would be going through Iowa, it reminded him of his homeland. And I think that's the best reason. We should be in Cedar Rapids.
I love it. That's a beautiful one. I may steal it.
Okay, you can. Well, thank you, Kika, and we'll look forward to having you again to update us on things. Okay?
Thanks very much. Thank you so much.
Thank you. We'll see you next month.